Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at our NETPA virtual meeting today on Friday, February 18th. My name is Jose Rojas. I'm the Vice President of NETPA, and I'll be facilitating this morning's session for you. So thank you so much. So before we get started, I want to have you meet our board briefly. Vera Lee Keenan is our president. Vera Lee's career has spanned business, economic, and workforce development. She currently works as a business service representative for Arizona at Work, Maricopa County, matching job seekers with employers. Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Rojas. I'm the Vice President and Treasurer of NETPA. For the past 30 years, I've worked in various capacities in social service. Right now, I'm currently a Senior Project Manager with Employment and Rehabilitation for Aetna, Inc. I am a proponent for helping job seekers find their passion for work. Maggie Kasparek is our secretary with NETPA. She is experienced in economic development manager with a demonstrated history of working with the health and wellness industry. We have also Sherry Zawinski, who's a board member. She earned her bachelor's degree from the University of Nebraska at Oklahoma. She is currently working at the apprentice Hamilton Riker as an intermediary sponsor registered for registered apprenticeship programs. And in her spare time, she enjoys spending time with her family and her dog. Today, I want to just take a little extra time and introduce Leah Hill, who's our newest NETPA board member. Leah has a master's degree in project management and maintains certifications as a nationally certified workforce development professional and 3 career coaching certificates. During her day, she specializes in and enjoys creating and enhancing pipelines, partnerships, and pathways to healthcare employment at the Mayo Clinic. After work, she enjoys hiking, biking, spending time with family, friends, traveling, cooking, and building her career coaching and HR consulting practice. Welcome, Leah, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have Winslow Zhang, who's a board member and our social media specialist. Winslow moved to the United States in 2010 and attended the University of Iowa for his bachelor's degree in psychiatry. He recently graduated from Grand Canyon University with an MBA degree in strategic human resource management and also has SHRM certification. Personally, Winslow enjoys exploring the Phoenix food scene, trying out different restaurants, and he also likes to try out recipes that he finds online. So just a little bit about NETPA's core values. We believe in 3 key things: connecting the underserved to the right employers, believing in and growing our community, and doing what's unconventional. Our purpose, together with our community partners, we recognize job seekers with barriers and challenges, and we connect them to long-term gainful employment. If you're interested in learning more about NETPA, we have our link to our website, and we have a yearly fee, $25 for individuals, and for organizations, $75 a year, which allows up to 5 members from your organization to attend our events. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. So we are delighted to welcome James Montoya. James is a workforce project manager at the City of Phoenix for Economic Development Department, and he was going to share statistics on employment, annual growth rate in the labor market, unemployment rate, salary information, and projections for past and future years. And that little, I just found out right before we got started that our NETPA logo was designed by James because he's been connected with NETPA for quite some time. So he's also a guru at designing logos, just in case anybody's interested. All right, without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing, James, and I'll give you the ball and you can take it away. All right, you're good to go, James.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Jose. Thank you all to the NETPA family. I am excited to be back. I know last year, I presented last year sort of the same information, and hopefully I'm able to share more information for you all. I'll share a little bit about myself. There it goes. All right, so I work for the City of Phoenix in Arizona at Work. Arizona at Work is a statewide workforce development program, and City of Phoenix is one of the programs under that. And I help businesses as much as I can try to connect with job seekers. And some of the projects that I have under my belt are the Advanced Business Services Sector Partnership. I am the new lead for the Bloomberg Mobile Career Unit that was just announced. I do the labor market information, the industry reports, such as IT, advanced business services, healthcare, construction, manufacturing. And then I do the skills reports, skills gaps reports, as well as the quarterly labor market information. And I believe last year I received the Arizona Economic Development Professional Certification, which was really cool. Really proud of myself because it took like 2 years to do. So I'm excited about that one. And then I'm currently finishing up a fellowship at the Aspen Institute on Workforce Development. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about labor market, what it means, you know, some of the big concepts to make them as simple as possible so you can understand. I'm not an economist per se, but I do follow the rates. I do follow the trends, and I want to make sure that you completely understand this. Because if you understand it, I mean, everyone it will be better for it, especially within our community. So I'll give you some definitions. So when we're talking about the labor market, we're talking about this whole area on the screen that encompasses Maricopa and Pinal County. So I'm going to say Phoenix Msa a lot. And you're probably like, what's MSA? Is it Mesa, Scottsdale, something? No, it's actually Metropolitan Statistical Area. And so this area encompasses from Maricopa, this area encompasses from as west as Tonopah to as east as Superior, from as north as New River to as south as Casa Grande and Coolidge. So most of this is just central Arizona, and this is where the majority of individuals within Arizona live. So I'll go over a few definitions really quickly. The labor market is the total number of employed and unemployed individuals. The labor market participation rate, it's the labor force as a percentage. So the marginally attached, this is kind of where we kind of get in the nitty gritty. The marginally attached, it just says if a person wants a job. So I will go over that. I'll put it in an example. So my nephew he's a teenager and he wants a job, and he's been looking for a job for the past year, and he's available to work as soon as possible, but he hasn't looked in the past month. So that's what marginally attached means. So you're actively, you work if you could, but in the last 4 weeks, I'm going to play a video game or I'm going to do something else. Not in a labor force. Those are individuals 16 years or older who are not looking for a job or not employed. So those could be your students, those could be ill or disabled, and those include your retirees. So from ages 16 to 25, most of the percentage of those individuals are attending school. And historically, as far as 25 to 54 years old, most are either ill or disabled. Underemployment, workers who are high skilled but are working in a low pay or low skill job. And unemployment, those individuals who are actively seeking work but have not found employment. So what we'll do right now is we'll kind of go over where we are right now, and we'll go over unemployment and then some of the projections. And so what I'll do right now is I'll go over the essentials. So as far as this is the latest information that I have and the state provides, it's from December. So currently our labor force is up to about 2.5 million. Employment within the labor force at Phoenix Msa is about 2.5 million as well. So unemployment, those who have claimed unemployment or continue unemployment, is about 84,000 individuals. So the average wage for the Phoenix Msa area is going to be about $26. For the state of Arizona, it's a little lower. It's about $25. So the median wage for the city of Phoenix and the MSA is going to be $19. And then the state of Arizona, it's going to be $19 as well. So, but just a little higher with the city of Phoenix. So within this MSA, as you can see, this is the educational attainment. Individuals who are working, this is their educational goals. So if they've graduated high school, they're at 22%. So those who have a bachelor's or greater is about 32.1% of the population have a bachelor's or higher. And I hope I'm not going too fast. Try to go as slow as I can, but I'm a fast talker, so bear with me. When it comes to millennials, 25 to 39, those are about 1 million people. Retiring soon, 1.4 million individuals. As you can see, we're a little lower than the United States when it comes to retirees. Racial is 2.3 million. And then veterans is going to be 288,000. So we have more than the national average. That's because we do have bases in the Valley and then around Arizona. And once they come, it's like, hey, I love Arizona. I want to stay. So this next demographic kind of shows, it does show where the talent works and where the talent lives. And so the majority of individuals within this MSA area, where they work is the Tempe area. And then it goes into Scottsdale and then Phoenix. And then where the talent lives, they live in that zip code 85021. And then Chandler is a popular area where people go, and Glendale and Queen Creek. So population trends, this is some predictions of where the population is going to be over the next few years. So as you can see, it goes to 2026 and almost about over 5.6 million individuals will be here, either living, working, and all of that. So what I'll do is I'll look at something very specific. Right now we have about 5.1 million, and I believe this is for the state of Arizona. And then it's going to go up to all the way to 5.6 million. So there'll be a difference of about 482,000 over the next 5 years, individuals into the population. So the labor force participation rate. So I think we talked about this before. These are the people who are participating in the workforce. So 16 to 64 years old, either they're employed, unemployed, or looking for work. As you can see, there was this huge drop off in January 2021 through August, and that was basically the pandemic. And then as you can see, we are at the rates before, we're actually at higher rates before the pandemic happens, which is really cool. Let's go to the next slide, and we'll talk a little bit about unemployment. So unemployment's a big part of what we see every day, the individuals we help. And we'll talk, next few slides, we'll talk about unemployment and actually what's happening with unemployment currently. So unemployment for the Phoenix MSA area is about 3.3. And I believe this is for December. State of Arizona, it's 4.1, and then the United States is 3.9. Now, as you can see, state of Arizona has a higher unemployment rate than the United States. That's because there's a couple of counties who are affected by farming and by other factors that kind of puts that that rate a little bit higher than let's say the Phoenix area. So these are initial claims as well as continued claims within Arizona as well as the United States. So these are the numbers for all of January, which is really cool. So you can look at the individuals, the numbers. So January 29th, we had about 2,700 individuals claiming their initial claims, whereas in Arizona, it's a total of about 13,500. I will go to the next one. So the specific industries that these individuals are claiming, which is a little surprising, but is healthcare. So healthcare, waste administration. So there were 135 claims. Out of that, 14% of the of that was in the healthcare industry. Burnout. There's a lot of different reasons, but healthcare is the top, which is surprising, I think, for some of us. So the initial claims, let's continue that, what the actual unemployment looked like. And so as you can see, age 25 to 34, there's 30% of that, the majority of that are individuals. And then the weekly unemployment claims by education, individuals who have a high school diploma or lower, they are at 56%. as well when it comes to gender, a majority of the individuals who file unemployment or claim unemployment, the initial unemployment, are female. We can attribute that to mothers, working mothers who are just don't want to go back to work. There's a lot of stories we can put in there, but nobody's 100% sure about all of this information. So when we talk about labor force, this is the past year of 2021, and we'll look at each period in time. So each of them goes by December, which was the last month. As you can see, labor force, the top line, which 2.5 million individuals that are in the labor force. Employed was 2.5, unemployed is 84, which we talked about earlier. And then the unemployment rate was at 3.3. Now let's jump to the January, the last line. So same thing, labor was 2.5, employment was 2.3, which is very surprising. So unemployment was 168,000 individuals, whereas compared to now, it's 84,000. So our numbers have gone lower when it comes to unemployment. That means more people are working, more people are getting back into the workplace. But it also means that individuals are dropping off and not participating in the workforce as well. So I wanted to caveat that and let them know that, you know, there are people who have just stopped working that are not going to continue working because either it's not safe or because they just don't feel like it's their best, it's the best opportunity for them to continue working within that industry or within that job. So the largest industries within the state of Arizona, now we're talking about, is going to be the healthcare and social assistance. The next one would be government, and then retail trade. As you can see, the blue line is for Phoenix and MSA, and then the gray line is going to be for the national average. I apologize. So as you can see, healthcare is the biggest one, and then government and retail trade, and administrative support, waste management, finance, insurance, accommodations, and food services. So the top growing industries, so these are the ones that are going to grow over the next few years, is going to be healthcare and social sciences, transportation and warehousing, construction. As you can, I mean, if you go to downtown, you see all the construction, so that's not a big surprise. Insurance and finance and insurance. The next one we're going to talk about is going to be the top industry earnings. So this is where you make your money. So if you do have clients, you could say, hey, these industries, you make more money in these industries. So utilities, your mining, your oil, your gas, your management, information, science, insurance, trade, manufacturing, technical services, government, real estate, and construction. So as you can see, the salaries are at the bottom. So the first one is 50, 100, and 150. So I think in another life, we all could have just joined the utilities companies. The next one is going to be the largest occupations. So this would be the office administrative support, the sales, the transportation, the food services, the business and financial operations. And so, as you can see, there's a lot of positions available, especially in the office and administrative support. So the top growing industries, which again would be the occupations, I apologize, industries, occupations, I get those confused sometimes. So the top growing occupations would be your office and sales and transportation and food. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go over something very specific. The meat and potatoes is going to be your 2-year occupational projections, and you can definitely use these when you talk to clients. So these are occupations, jobs, and then so these are going to be the biggest growth within the next 2 years, and then the next slide will be the next 10 years. So the biggest growth within the next 2 years in the projected employment. So most people look at the annual growth. I'm actually looking at the projected employment. How many jobs are there going to be? So the top one would be office and administrative support occupations. The next one would be transportation. That would be your CDLs, and that would be your warehousing, your sales, your business management, your management options, your food preparation, serving. So as you can see, all of those are growing exponentially. And you can see their growth on the side as well. So over 12,000 jobs in the next 2 years, which is amazing. 16,000 jobs in the next 2 years. What I want to do right now is I want to talk about the 10-year occupations. So over the next 10 years, from 2020 to 2030, what that's going to look like. So with your 10-year occupation, these are the occupations that are going to grow. Again, I'm looking at the total projected employment, not the total growth. So again, the office, the transportation, the sales, management, foods, healthcares, material moving workers, construction. So along those same lines, with the 2-year is sort of the same. There's a couple of caveats, but as a 10-year. So as you can see, all of these are moving toward, there's jobs, there's growth, and there's employment, as well as there is transitional growth. So you can go up in the company and then get a higher pay as well as a higher job. So like a career lattice. I believe that is my presentation for the projections, and then for what's actually happening within Phoenix for the MSA and the labor market information. So what I'm going to do is, indulge me if you will. I have a few slides about Arizona at Work really quickly, and it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. So Arizona at Work, we are a statewide workforce development initiative. We basically have 2 customers. The first customer is going to be the job seeker. So those are the individuals who walk into a job center and say, hey, I need help, or I don't know how to do this, and I need you to hold my hand. And that's what we do. So we provide career counseling. And that's where we have career advisors there to hold your hand or the hand of your client through the entire way of trying to get a job, looking for a job. We also have talent development, which basically are workshops. And those workshops, they're 3-day, they're 5-day. They help you through the entire process of not only getting a job, but more importantly, keeping a job. So you go through, you learn how to do a resume, you learn behavioral interviews, you learn how to post a LinkedIn profile, how to connect on LinkedIn profiles. Really cool stuff like that. And then the third one is we provide customizable trainings. So those are specific to the individual. So if the individual's like, hey, I have some driving experience and I want to get my CDL, we can help with that. So we offer up to, I believe, $4,000 for a short term, shorter than, I believe, a year or 9 months sort of training. And so it can really be a lot of different trainings. It's just really up to, your experience and your barriers, and, what do you want to do when you grow up? Those are the types of conversations that they're going to have with the career advisor. And obviously employment assistance will connect with employers on your behalf and make sure that you're able to talk to them. We have really healthy relationships with employers as well. And that's what the job center. And then the second client is businesses, which I work under, and we have a few of the programs that we offer. So obviously job postings. I don't know if any of you worked with Arizona Job Connection System. It's a statewide workforce development website where you can post jobs. And if you're an employer, you can post your jobs. And if you're a client, you can post your resumes, and hopefully they can connect on there. Job search. So for an employer, we can do job search, very customizable. So if we can look at resumes as well. Recruiting events, we do individual or multi-company events. So if a company is looking for, hey, I need to hire 5 people, we can actually put that together all at no cost. And then we do jobs description feedback. So you're probably like, what's that? Basically, what we can do is look at your job description. I'll give an example. We had a company based out of Pittsburgh come to the Valley. They're new. They're from the East Coast, and they were like, "Well, we can't get anybody to even interact with our posts." And I looked at it and it said stockkeeper, and I scratched my head and I was like, "What's stockkeeper?" And I asked around, "Does everybody know what stockkeeper is?" So I looked it up, and it was a warehousing. It's a warehousing position. And so those are the types of conversations that we have with employers like, hey, this isn't going to work because, nobody knows what a stockkeeper is on, in the Southwest. So if you put warehouse worker, more people are going to apply. And that's what they did. And they got all the workers they needed, especially when it came to warehousing, because they had no interaction with stockkeeper. So some of the training and development opportunities that we have with our programs is we offer a few grants available to businesses, especially within different industries. So our healthcare, advanced business services, manufacturing, construction, and I believe IT. And so we offer incumbent worker training grant, and that's basically for incumbent workers who've been there 6 months or longer. We provide a reimbursement for some type of layoff aversion for the organization to stay competitive. And that's between 50 and 90% of the reimbursement. On the job training is just how it sounds. It's like a mini internship program, and we can cover up to 50%, up to $4,000 per person at a cap of about $50,000 per calendar year, fiscal year, excuse me. And then customizable training, that's for your pre-hire. That's more of like you want to hire like 100 customer I'm going to hire 100 customer service reps, and we partner with a college, and then you pay half of the training and we pay half. And then you decide, hey, I like Jimmy, I like Bobby, I like Maggie, but I won't take these other folks. And so it's a pre-hire training program. And then obviously apprenticeships, and those are always popular. So that is my presentation. I'm sure you guys have a million questions, so I will hopefully answer them as best I can.
Thanks so much, James. We do have a bunch of questions in the chat, so I'll start off with, let's go with, okay, here's the first one. James, because we have so many women that have dropped out of the workforce, is there anything that you know of? Give me 1 second, I just lost the chat. All right. Here we go. Is there, I gotta go back up. Yes. Is there anything you know of that would help assisting this particular population to incentivize them to join the workforce again?
So I think it's has to do with psychology than anything else. Do you feel safe to go back to work? Do you feel safe to put your kids back in school? It's not a question I can answer per se, but it is. I know as a father, and I'm sure the mothers out there are feeling the same way. Am I safe? Am I safe to put my kids in school? Am I safe to go back to the workforce? Because, I'm going to interact with individuals, especially it depends on the industry. Retail, I mean, if you're coming face to face and you are unfortunately dealing with customers who are irate and don't always want to take the safety precautions because maybe you live with, your in-laws, or you live with your grandma, and you have individuals who have who could catch COVID easily and then make it deadly. So, there's a lot of different things that are happening within our communities that are making women in particular not go back into the workforce. So I think time will tell. I think we need to make sure that everyone feels safe to go back to work. And if they're able to feel safe, then our workforce is going to go higher. As you can see in the numbers, the majority of the individuals that were claiming unemployment were women. And because they want to be home, whether it's with their kids or whether it's to take care of someone elderly, it's not an easy question to say, yes, in 2 years or in a year, somebody's going to go back to work. We just don't know.
Thank you for that, Jimmy.
Well, I can jump in quick. My experience with the members is that a lot of members that are especially females, because of school change, there's in the past that for a lot of females, they are able to put the kids go in the school, then go back to then they go to work. And with the school's time change, a lot of times school reduced to 4 days a week now. it's more difficult for people to go. I do want to share a resource that Access offers for your employees. If you know somebody's in trouble, I believe that DS offers the caregiving assistance program that helps low-income families to provide the to, I guess, share the bill a little bit to help the low-income families to find the caregiver and pay for the part of the caregiving fee. So that might be a good resource that you share, employer share with their employees.
Thank you for that, Winslow. James, another question has come through. As we see the largest growth coming in healthcare, but it's also in need for employees. Do you have any insight into what's going on in this field?
It's like the Wild West, honestly. You have nurses resigning so they can become travel nurses and making $90,000 a year, even more. It is, healthcare is one of those industries right now that it is, you have individuals who are, as you can see in the data provided, that has the most unemployment insurance industry. And so you have this big need, and you have this, this huger need within our community because of COVID. And it really is insanity right now, especially within healthcare. And I know there's some individuals on healthcare that can actually answer this best, but it is insane. That's what's happening in healthcare right now. And I'm sure Leah can jump on that question probably better than I can.
So yes, excuse my background noise. I'm holding my 4-month-old, but in regards to the healthcare industry, I mean, there are a lot of different competing variables right now. And I think a lot of it has to do with post-traumatic stress. It has to do with burnout. It has to do with competing resources and resource drain. And back to James's point, also psychological safety. And when you think about the healthcare workforce, the majority of the workforce is female. And so they have competing priorities both at home and work. And probably one of their first responsibilities, of course, is keeping their family safe as well as themselves. And so they want to make sure that they're not going to be bringing COVID home or potentially bringing COVID from home back into the workplace. I mean, keeping our patients safe as well.
Thank you, Leah. That was beautifully put with the 4-month-old.
Thank you, James.
Thanks so much for that additional insight, Leah. All right, another question. Transportation and material moving would include truck drivers, wholesale, and manufacturing?
Yes, I don't know about manufacturing. Manufacturing would be in a different industry, but truck drivers and wholesales, and then warehouse working would be in that industry.
All right. Does your organization work with any colleges or universities to help place students when they graduate?
To help place students when they graduate. Yes, so we work with all the colleges as well as the private organizations around the valley, private schools, and we help, if they're enrolled in our program, we help them try to get a job, and we help them connect with employers.
Awesome, thank you for that. We have a lot of interest in your recruiting events. Folks are asking, will you be the point of contact for those recruiting events? Can people reach out to you?
Yeah, just email me or call me. Email is probably the best because I'm, working from home as well. So email, and then we can set something up.
Awesome. Mike, you spoke a little bit about this, but I just wanted to see if you could expand a little bit. We have several providers needing to connect with job seekers. Talk a little bit more about how you help employers and what you can provide to them if they reach out to you.
Sure. I had mentioned before, we assist employers with trying to help or trying to look for individuals who basically to connect them, right? And so you have the employer and you have the person that's looking, the job seeker that's looking for a long-term sustainable position. We just try to connect them as best we can. And it's a variety of different ways. There's no silver bullet to workforce development. You have to do a lot of different legwork activities to kind of get the ball rolling. So what we can help with is the job posting, ArizonaJobConnection.com. We can actually do job searches, all at no cost to your organization. Go Indeed, LinkedIn, things like that. Do those in-depth searches. One time, I think I looked at 1,000 resumes. That was rough, but those are the things we do. And so, and sometimes it's successful, and other times it's not. And you know, I'm sure all of you understand what's happening right now within the market, and it's a tight space to find those individuals, and people are jumping quick because, you know, they're making a buck over here, or they feel safe over here. They like the environment. It's like I think I had mentioned before, it's the Wild West right now. So.
All right, thank you for that. We have another question. Do you have face-to-face job fairs? How does your virtual job fairs work with your organization? So talk to us a little bit about how you're doing these things.
Sure, we do virtual job fairs. So every week we have a virtual job fair. So the first Thursday of the month, we had Advanced Business Services. The second, we usually have, I believe it's manufacturing and hospitality. The third is healthcare. And the fourth, I believe, is going to be manufacturing. So the Arizona at Work hosts, you know, hundreds of job fairs every year. Since the pandemic, we've transferred to more virtual. It's going to stay virtual, unfortunately, for right now. And that's just because the city has a certain code. So once we're able to do in person, we could probably do one every week, every couple of weeks, stuff like that. But right now we're doing virtual once a week. And then if an individual or a company is like, hey, James, can you help me? And they don't fit within those codes, we can do something very customizable. We actually have we're building, won't be out till next year, is going to be our mobile career unit. And so we just got a grant, I believe it was released last month, that we got $1 million grant from the Bloomberg Foundation, and to create a mobile career unit. And so I am lucky enough to be part of the team where we actually get to design the RV. And that's what I'm in the middle of this week is looking at lights to go in the RV, which is a little crazy. But, you know, all of those things. So we're hopefully going to have at least 13 computers, a soft space where, you know, there will be like a camera as well as a TV, so we can do virtual interviews one-on-one. So that's the plan, and we're excited about it. So again, we can do virtual, we can do in person, just not in person now.
Awesome, thank you for that. We have just a couple comments, and then we have some more questions. So a great way to attract and retain talent is through the registered apprenticeship programs. I know NETPA is a great proponent of these apprenticeship program. The retention rate is between 92 and 94%. And we have contact information in the chat if you're interested in connecting with apprenticeship programs. It's really customizable to your organization in terms of what your needs are. You can customize a portion of the apprenticeship program to meet your specific organizational needs, but they are available to help as well. And also we have some additional comments supporting burnout and PTSD has been witnessed too in the healthcare field. And congratulations on your 4-month-old, Leah. That's coming through in the chat. James, folks are asking if you can just kindly put your email address in the chat, even though I know it's in the slides. Folks are seeking to reach out to you. And let me continue scrolling. All right. So you covered this, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. How do employers sign up to participate in your job fairs? Is there a specific process, or do they just contact you and then you'll work out the logistics?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I normally do is we just have a meeting one-on-one. We talk for like 30 minutes. What are some of your pain points in the organization? What are some of your needs? How we can help? And does that align with some of our services we have? Really, it's talking to the employer, looking at you know, they haven't been able to hire this because of this. And so maybe we have some insight within that industry or with those occupations. In addition, maybe we have some labor market information we can share that they don't know about. And that's one of the things we do for organizations as well. So it's really a give and take. We try to give as much as we can, and they give us, jobs, right? And we can provide those jobs. So we're happy to do it. And if any organization would like to get started, they could just email me, and then we'll set up a meeting probably next week, 30-minute meeting, 20-minute meeting, 15-minute meeting, and just see where you guys are at and how we can help. All at no cost, right?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't see any additional questions coming through the chat. So I want to give folks an opportunity. If you have any more questions, please put it in the chat. We have James here to answer any questions. And James is definitely going to be a great resource to specifically our employers who are on the call that are struggling to get job seekers. And these are free services. So you want to take advantage of that.
And again, we're just one more outlet to help you. You have your Indeed, you have your Monster, and you can just throw us on the little bullet point Arizona at Work as well. So, I mean, one more outlet one more tool in your toolbox, if you will.
Perfect. I don't see anything else coming in the chat. Maggie, am I missing anything, or are we good with the chat?
No, I think we're good. I would like to ask if just tell everybody that the presentation will be on the NETPA webpage. So you can actually see it if you wanted to get additional information, or even show your managers or show somebody what the statistics look like. I think it's helpful.
Thank you so much. So with that, we're just going to continue moving through, and just know if you need to re-see this, or if you have others in your organization that may benefit from the information, you can, once we post this, you can direct them to the video and they can get the information for themselves. So again, James, thank you so much. It's always very insightful information, and we appreciate you being here with us today. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Wait, let's see. I see something in the chat. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So let's go to the next slide. So just to wrap some things up and give you some information about what's to come. We have some free resources, again, for job seekers and employers. I know James went through a few of these already, but we have the Arizona Job Connections where you can post your openings there. Arizona at Work is a great partner in hosting events and so forth. And I know they're doing everything virtually right now, but when we resume in-person stuff, they have great facilities and they can host job fairs as well. A couple of things. Arizona at Work has some online learning tools. They expanded their Virtual Employment Academy. This Virtual Employment Academy is a 4-part online workshop that sharpens employability skills and prepares for effective job search. So this is a great tool for our community partners that are on the line that work with job seekers that may benefit from a few more skills. Sign up for the Arizona at Work Job Blast. All you have to do is text AZ at Work to 22828 to get started, and then you can put in your information and you'll get a job blast. And this job blast is very extensive. It's an Excel sheet, and you can filter it through location, schools, salary, job title, and it's a great resource for in terms of job openings. And again, we want to thank our community partners. We have AZ Retail Careers, Best Companies AZ, Career Connectors, Chicanos para la Casa, Goodwill, Jobbertising, Local Work, and Pipeline AZ. And so now let's briefly talk about our upcoming events. And Leah, do you want to chime in regarding what we want to do a little bit of next month?
Sure. Thank you, Jose. Good morning, everyone. So glad to be with you this morning. Thank you for attending our meeting and presentation this morning. At next month's meeting in March, we would like you to come back prepared to share ideas. We're going to take a few minutes during that meeting to not only ask you for your feedback, we'll probably do a virtual poll, but we'd also like to hear from you. You may all have seen that on our NETPA website, we do have a place where you can sign up for our newsletter. And as a board, we're receiving additional requests from members and non-members who want to hear from us on a regular basis through that newsletter. And we want to hear from you as to what you are looking to gain from this newsletter. Is it more networking? Is it information sharing? Do you possibly want to contribute to a newsletter, or are you looking just to read a newsletter? So please come prepared with your feedback, your ideas, your suggestions, and we will dedicate some time in the March meeting to receiving those ideas. If you're not able to attend, please email us, reach out to us via LinkedIn, via the website, and let us know your ideas. Because again, we want this to be your networking group. We want this to be a place where you are getting what you're paying for. And if you're not a member yet, but you're thinking about becoming a member, what would entice you to become a member? So again, please come back in March and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks, Jose.
All right, thank you. All right, a couple of upcoming events. Arizona at Work is having a hiring event for medical assistants, customer service reps, health program managers, community managers, maintenance technicians, and warehouse associates and supervisors on Wednesday, February 23rd from 12 to 2. Come meet with 4 great employers who are currently hiring in the West Valley. And that's from 12 to 2 at the Olive Avenue location in Glendale. Another job fair is an Arizona Educator job fair on February 26th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And these positions include paraprofessionals, teachers, support staff, administrators, related service providers, and classified staff. And that's occurring at the Glendale, the Renaissance Phoenix Glendale Hotel and Conference Center. Save the date, everyone. So as we continue to bridge this great divide between job seekers and employers, we're super excited next month to welcome Travis Layback, the ASU Associate Director of Corporate Partnerships and Alumni Engagement and Career Professional Development Services. He's going to be speaking directly to employers and community partners regarding the current process to recruit students at ASU into your openings. So that's going to be very relevant, and he will be a great resource to us and our community partners for connecting. So with that, I want to thank you all again for your time on this Friday morning. And guess what? We were scheduled to go to 11:30. You get 40 minutes back. So thank you so much for joining us today. And with that, I am going to stop recording and we're going to end the meeting. Thank you so much again, everyone.
Thank you all.